I think I'm just gonna edit this episode, just put in random voiceovers of me like talking to the audience, like a private detective. That's what I'll do for this episode when I'm editing it.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
I wish you good fortune in the editing to come. If you can do it,
Sounds
then
sounds fun. I won't lie.
It does sound fun, but it also sounds like a lot of work, and I don't think I have the energy for that.
I think you should do it.
I
In for
mean,
a penny, in for a pound.
in for
Let's
a
find out
penny,
how a
in for
detective
a
version of
pound.
you sounds.
True.
continue.
We can
Keep
get your
going.
favorite neo-noir voice.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, you're not satisfied by just one more round.
no.
I guess I
Oh,
could keep going. Okay,
Jesus
are we done?
Christ.
We're done.
Okay,
We're done.
let's talk about sugar. Let's talk about
Yeah, let's
sugar.
talk about it.
Um,
John Sugar.
John
What's
Do
a
Sugar.
Maroon
nice name?
5 have a song called Sugar, first of all?
Yes, they do.
Okay, I don't think that has anything to do with this show. Just putting it out there. It's not really good.
What if it's a needle drop in like episode 5?
Oh,
Ooh.
now I think that's an actual possibility. In fact, I would love
Yeah,
to
that
see
would be
it.
sick.
I don't think I'll be surprised if.
Sugar.
Go ahead.
That's the one that was a wedding song, right?
Yeah, it's like a funky.
I don't think any weddings will be happening in this show, but
Yeah, I don't think so either. That being said, Banky, how many
Yeah.
episodes have you seen?
2. As was the assignment.
Right, Ebuka, how many have you seen?
Jesus Christ.
2 as was the assignment.
But hold on, yeah, also two, definitely 100% two. I didn't watch episode one and two and think, oh man, I need to see more. I'm not that kind of guy. I have discipline, I have restraints, and I kept
Oh,
to what we agreed, and I stayed on track. And I think we're going to have a really good show today. I'm excited.
oh my God. Okay.
Okay,
Let's talk
me too.
about
I'm
let's
excited.
talk about episodes 1 and 2 only
Just
of
those two
Sugar.
episodes. Yeah,
Are you
let's
guys
do that.
ready? Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
Yes,
go.
100%.
we're ready.
Hello. Welcome back to Popcorn for Dinner podcast. But why did you even come back? What do we have to look forward to in this life? I'm a brooding man. This is my detective voice. I'm a nice man, but I don't like hurting people. And I've not got any reaction from my co-hosts.
Yeah,
So
because
how
we
long can
can't
I
hear
keep doing
you.
this?
because it's sounding realistic, and I was hoping to see how dark you can get.
That was really good, by the
I
way.
thought your next sentence was going to be, "Why did I start this podcast?
I'm not gonna lie
I'm
to
very
you.
tired today."
The end of the script was I'm a brooding man. So everything I was gonna say was gonna be off the dome, and I genuinely was afraid of how far I was going to go. So I'm very happy. That's why I was like, that's why I shoot it out to you guys, like you guys talk, because I don't know what I'm gonna say. Guys, welcome back to the Pokemon Dinner podcast. We're discussing episodes 1 and 2 of Apple TV's latest movie star vehicle. And joining me, guys, I really like them, and that's why I call them Sugar. It's Ebuka TMT. How are you guys doing? Welcome back.
How
What's
you
up,
doing, bro?
beautiful
What's going on?
people?
There's a heat wave. There's a heat wave in Lagos.
It's for,
It's sexy.
it's just hell. It's just showing you how it feels to be in hell,
Yeah,
as is apt for Nigeria. Um,
real shit.
I'm very happy to be at one with the Three Body Problem Bros, the
Exactly.
3BP Bros. I felt left out, so thank you for welcoming me back
Now we have a
into your
real
embrace.
3-body system.
And what's the problem?
Too soon?
Maybe, I don't know. I still haven't watched the show.
Maybe not good enough.
It's
I
fine.
mean, also, like, by the time he moves, I don't know if people know that or not, or if they are meant to even be privy to that information.
They aren't
But I
meant to
said
be
it
privy to it, but let's
because
go.
I'm
It's fine.
irresponsible. But yeah, there's going to be three different continents. Whatever we do an episode similar to this.
Yeah,
So that's going to
Yeah,
be like an actual three-body problem, isn't it? Well, not really.
exactly.
Not even in any sense of the word. But
again,
it's
I still
more
haven't watched
fun
the show, so I don't
to
know.
think
I don't know
about.
what the three body
Yeah.
problem is. But actually, yes, as you guys heard, there's a three body problem episode on the feed. Ebuka and TMT did that, so please check that out. We're going to be covering Sugar this season. I'm very excited after watching the first 2 episodes. Our episodes will come out every fortnight, so 1 and 2 today, and then 3 and 4 in 2 weeks, 5
Yeah.
and 6 2 weeks after, and then 7 and 8 2 weeks after that. Ripley, the new adaptation of Patricia Highsmith's Tiny Time Mr. Ripley novels is
Yeah.
out. That's by Steve Zalian, who made The Night of, wrote Schindler's List, wrote Gangs of New York, and some of that. No, was he Gangs of New York? Anyway, whatever. Um, that's out now on the feed. That's out on Netflix. 1 to 4 are out on the feed, and our discussion of 5 to 8 will be out early next week. And then The Sympathizer, starring
Mm.
Sandra Oh, RDJ's return to TV, is coming very soon.
Wait, was the last time he was on TV Ali McBeal?
I think so. Yeah, Ali McBeal. Yeah, he
That's
acted on TV. Yeah, he was meant
that's
to do the
really
Perry
funny.
Mason show, but then he gave it to God. Why am I blanking on his name? That's
Perry
weird.
Mason guy, that's his name.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, he's Welsh, and it's not Martin
Ryan
Sheen.
Reese something.
Oh, this is so embarrassing. Anyway, yes.
It's
So
just,
Sympathizer. We're
is
going to.
his name is his name Reese something. This is the
No, I
guy
don't
from the
think. I don't.
Americans.
Matthew Reese.
Matthew Reese. Yes,
Ah,
thank you.
see?
Ebuka,
Every
thank
because
you. And Google.
every
It's not
Welsh
easy being
every
the knowledgeable one on the podcast who has an
I said
encyclopedic knowledge
I
of
said
stars.
I said Reese something twice. First of all, second, every Welsh person has Reese in their name
But
except
to be fair,
Tyrese.
it's something Reese, so you were kind of wrong. His
Yeah,
name's not
Yeah,
Reese
but
Matthew.
that's the thing about if you're kind of right, you're also kind of wrong, and that's just life, baby.
hmm.
The
Okay.
heat is getting to your brain.
Maybe.
So Sympathizer, we're going to be covering that as well. That should be fun. Actually, Fernando Meirelles, who directed all the episodes in Sugar, directed an episode of Sympathizer. So we're going to be doing a lot of his work over the next few weeks. Okay. As always, please rate and review wherever you're listening. Apple Podcast, Spotify. On Spotify, the stars, right? They just give us stars. Apple Podcast, please leave a review. YouTube, like, comment. TMT has 1,000 podcasts out online. TMT, do you want to shout out a few of them out of the
Yeah,
many?
man. Check out Submarine Roach. We have a live show soon. Check out Dirty Live Podcast. Check out Problem Man. That's coming back in a bit, actually.
You've
First
been saying
episode with
that for a while.
Santi and Chance. I don't know why I don't want to put it out yet. My sponsors are getting mad, but yeah, that's coming out soon. I just don't want to have to do press again. So I'm going to use the Submaruch press junket to promote Problem
Wait, you
Man
actually you do press junkets for Problem Man?
for everything. Also for Submaruch because it's the biggest one. We'll do like radio stuff. We'll do some TV.
Really?
I said not TV, radio and other podcasts. Like just
Yeah,
funny mini thing. Talk
fair.
about the pod anywhere we can. If we have to do TV, we might do TV. But yeah, especially for the live show, trying to sell some fucking tickets because Daddy needs a new Rolex. I'm kidding. I don't need a new Rolex. I don't have an old one. I'm not a Rolex guy, man. I'm more partial to Cartier tanks. But yeah, support my podcast. That was not a good way to do that.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's like no free ads. We're not sponsored. I should quick shout out. If I do apologize if you're hearing any background noise. As we mentioned, TMT is currently in a cauldron, so he does have lots of appliances trying to keep him sane. So there's only so much I can remove in
Daddy's
noise.
hot, hot, hot.
Okay, before we go into sugar, this is the first day we've recorded since the Chance Perdomo news, and obviously TMT and I did Gen V, so I just felt like we should just shout him out. That's sad news, obviously. Um,
Big fan of that
and
man.
yeah,
Very
like I
sad.
remember I was saying, I never watched Sabrina, and that was the first time I saw him on Gen V. I remember very, I was like, this is a very charismatic actor, and he was very good on the show, and it's just a bit sad to obviously lose a man of that talent. So yeah, I guess
He
27
was
years old.
he was extremely charismatic. Also, like you could just tell, like amongst his age range, he was like one of those few guys that kind of got it,
Hmm.
like theater and just like the art of being a character actor. You know.
Why did you say that as if you were expecting applause?
Sorry, I was. I won't lie to you. But yeah, he was a
No,
really talented guy.
he was really
Sucks.
good. Yeah, that's someone that he was really good. He was really good on the show, and I just that was very very sad news when we all saw it. Everybody was just
Huge
like,
loss.
yeah, who lost?
Mm.
Yeah, it's one of the rare ones where like I different people sent it to me. like all over the timeline. Just like I was like, oh wow, yeah, yeah, that's quite sad. In the absence of any elegant segue, let's talk about Sugar.
Mhm.
So this is Apple TV's latest show in their um merry-go-round of movie star vehicles. This is a noir detective drama starring Colin Farrell. Both episodes 1 and 2 are written by series creator Mark Protasevich and directed by City of God director Fernando Mireles. Um, yeah, I knew that would get a reaction from you, Ebuka. So we've done this is a detective drama. Somebody's missing. Colin Farrell, John Sugar needs to find the person, and like every great detective drama, there's another mystery that needs to be unsolved that happened years prior. Um, Fans of True Detective and all that stuff will know that kind of formula. We've done several episodes on Atlanta, TMT and I. We've done a full season on Gen V, as we mentioned. We've done random recommendations episodes. We talked about Mrs. Maisel, all kind of shit. But I have never had a TMT message at 4 a.m. with the words, quote, I have so many wonderful thoughts about this show. So TMT, why don't you start and tell me, like, why do you like the show? What was your initial impression of the show? What made you message me at 4 a.m. and wake me up?
First of all, sent you those in confidence.
Eh,
This is
nothing you send me. So also, nobody's listening to this. Like 5 listeners, it's fine.
wow, that's mean.
Why do you think we don't go on press junkets?
Fair enough. You will. I mean, it's a lot
Hmm,
of work. You probably won't like it. A lot of scheduling, links, people
that's
sending
fair.
you links. When a nigga send you a link, it's like, hey, bro, I have this link. Hop into the hop into the conversation at this. That's not fun. Anyway, yo. So basically, like, at first I was just like, so here's the thing. I don't like um detective noir
Why did you agree to do this show?
The spirit
because
of the
I
game.
watched. No, I don't like detective noir because one, the writers are very pessimistic, and it shows up in a lot of the writing.
Uh huh.
And a
Have you
lot of
seen the
times,
world?
a lot of times those niggas die, bro.
Yeah.
Like the main characters die, and that's fucking weird to me. And I don't want to like emotionally invest in a white man, and the next thing is dead. That's just too much
Better
on
than him
too
turning
many.
out to be an intel.
You get what I'm saying? And then, so what's crazy is that like I watched the trailer for this, and I saw him fight, and I was like, "Yo!" And that's a big part of why I don't like emotionally invest in like noirs because these guys are just like hard. What's that term? Hard boiled detectives, right?
Yeah.
Like gumshoes. Like they're just like regular niggas. They can't really
Yeah.
fight that well. They're just good at thinking.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's luck. Sometimes a combination of different things. Luck, thinking. You know, contacts. A bunch of random things.
Can I just say I'm very impressed with you that you're able to get a third thing. Like when you're like lock.
Yeah.
I the way when you said I was like he doesn't have a third thing. He's not going to pull out a third thing, but you have to pull out contacts. And well done. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I try
Yeah,
my best. I saw
yeah,
the contacts app on my phone. Anyway, eh, so yeah, and a big part of why I never really felt secure with main characters like that is that like you can't fight.
hmm,
Like they're going to send three goons and they're going to fuck you up, and like that might be the end of the P, or you might get stabbed and you figure it out to save the damsel in distress at the end, but you shall succumb to your wounds. I don't want that. So I watched bits of the trailer for this. I was like, oh, this nigga can fight. So I was already into it.
hmm.
I didn't like. I don't like his suits, but I can get past that. I
You
can
don't like
really
his
get past
suit.
that. I
What
don't
does
like
like
his
his
suits.
suit?
It's too tight. Anyway, yeah, for the noir things, just like it throws me off. He looks like he's on Billions or some shit. Anyway, I'm watching the show, and yeah, his fighting skills show up. He's good at thinking. He's also really nice, which I like.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not nice in like there's like if you watch the Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse, he's nice in the way that kind of throws you off. Like this is a psychopath, kind of nice. But his
Wait, what's the
Colin
Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse?
The Roadhouse film on Amazon
That's the
Prime.
one with Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal's the main character. You didn't know Jake Gyllenhaal's the main character.
No, I knew it, but I'm just making sure that that's the film you're referencing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You just
So
didn't know that TNT would watch it or what?
Exactly. I
I
just didn't know that, but I
I
guess
watched that piece.
it's
I
Easter
watched that piece
weekend.
of shit.
ask Ebuka the last Amazon Prime movie he watched.
The great, the
Which one
great
was it?
Sir, Lieutenant, Honorable Ricky Staniki.
I want this Ebuka was losing his mind over
Oh,
Ricky
No,
Staniki.
that movie
there's.
is hilarious.
Thank you. They could never make me hate Ricky Staniki, man. The
Because
guy
the
called
thing
them to his
is,
office to go through his speeches and ask them why nobody told him he was an air dicker.
Ebuka's favorite. There's the line where Ricky Staniki has I can't remember what he called the person, but like basically an assistant. And then he's like, "Don't you have one?" And then Zac Efron is like, "No, I don't. I'm not an international diplomat." Or something. Ebuka replayed that like 5 times.
It's like, no, I don't have an
I
attaché.
don't have an attaché. Yeah, you don't have an
that shit's
attaché.
crazy. No, the dialogue is really
Yeah.
funny.
Oh my god. Anyway, sorry.
And it's funny because my one saw my Roach watched it after Coach and I told him to, and then in the last episode, in this episode that's coming out, he's talked about how much he enjoyed it with his wife. Okay, going back to Sugar, the guy can
Yeah.
fight, and he's smart, he's kind, and there's a scene in I think it's the end of episode 2, maybe episode 1, where they play one of my favorite songs ever, like a song that I like so much. I had like the title tattooed on my arm
Oh,
right
wow.
here. Yeah, and it was just really
What's the song?
"Please Don't Live in Fear" by Bonnie Bear.
Oh.
Please don't live in fear. It's so good, such a good fucking song. But they like deconstruct the song as well and just play like the main chord. Don't really play the actual song itself, but it's just clear. It's the song, and it's shot in such a fantastic way.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
want to
get
talk about
boring.
that. I want to talk about that as well. Yeah.
The cinematography is so good. It doesn't get boring. The writing is electric. It feels alive, even though like that's a big thing about again like gumshoe shit. It feels very. I'm just like, okay,
Well, you
yeah,
keep saying
all right.
gumshoe. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah, gumshoe is like a term for like a detective. It's like
Oh.
any sort of like detective noir thing. Gumshoe. That's what I call it. So yeah,
That's what you call it. That's what it's called.
that's what it's called. It's called. I
Okay.
mean, detectives are called gumshoe. I call the genre gumshoe.
Okay.
I'm lazy.
Fair. Continue. Yeah, makes sense.
And yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah.
Love the show. Love Colin Farrell. Special shout out to the other actors in it acting. Doing what they go. Doing what they, making that check, man. Hey, who am I to?
I
Who
mean,
am
you
I
say that, but there are some incredible heavy hitters in this cast, like James Cromwell, Amy Ryan.
Yeah, James is good. James is good.
I mean,
He's
he's not really doing anything out of the ordinary. He's just he's like
he plays
he
sort
walked on
of.
succession sets to do
Is
this.
that the guy that looks like Paul Dano's younger brother?
No.
He's the guy that was
The
Greg's
grandfather
in
Oh, the
Succession.
grandfather.
and the
Isn't that James
grandfather
Cromwell?
here. James Cromwell, yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, no, I thought
Yeah,
you were talking about someone else.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
he's a
no.
good.
I know
Yeah,
James
so
Cromwell from.
he kind of plays like the granddad in Succession.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah,
a
exactly.
just a bit nicer. He's even nicer here. Yeah, I think he's nicer here. He's definitely
Yeah,
nicer
he's
nicer
definitely
here.
nicer here.
He's kind of a reference to I want to say Coppola and like Spielberg at the same time.
maybe.
And what else? Yeah, everyone was really good. I don't like.
Yeah.
I love the show. I think you guys will really like it.
On
And I wish
yeah.
I hope that I think yeah. And that's one thing I like about Apple. They don't usually release everything at once. I think
Yeah.
once in a while they do, but for this one it's like
It's very
weekly,
rare. They do
which is
they'll do
great.
2 at
Yeah,
once and then one.
yeah.
Sometimes
And
they
I
do
think
3 at once.
that's a better way to enjoy the show. Definitely, you want to
Yeah.
watch it weekly, tap in with the gang on Twitter or
Detective
X,
as
and
exactly.
yeah, exactly.
If only
Those
more
are
people
my
knew
thoughts.
about Apple. On the flip side, Ebuka, why did you hate the show?
So TMT, at what point did you text Banky that you love this show? Like, I want to know how far you got into it.
It was
Considering at midnight he asked me how many episodes should we watch,
Yeah.
and then at 4 a.m. he messaged. So I think maybe episode 4.
Okay,
No, that's not what
guys.
happened. I went to homecoming.
Okay, guys.
Okay, okay,
I've been trying not to text Banky or
yeah.
TMT or the group chat about like this show since I first started watching it, and all that's just been ringing in my head since I watched the episodes we're supposed to watch was just, guys, I think we have one. Like this is
We got, we did
like
it.
I feel like I can say confidently in March that this is going to be my top 10 of the year.
Fair,
I
fair.
mean, the
It's a
the
banger.
first time I got the temptation to text Banky was the opening sequence, the theme
Hmm.
song. That was the first time I got the temptation to be
Oh,
like,
just
okay,
the intro sequence.
yes, just the intro sequence. And then I'm so sorry, guys, right? Like, I'm not going to pretend like I have some encyclopedic knowledge of like noir detective shows, but
Hmm.
this show just feels like a perfect crash course or introduction. If you have been interested in the genre, if you've seen the jokes about the genre, every cliche is here,
All
but
he needs
done
to do is say "beat it to
perfectly.
it." That's all he needs to do,
Exactly.
and then we're like, we have the bingo card.
To
All
show
he
you
needs to
how good it
wait,
is,
all he needs to say is what?
Beat it to
beat
it.
it toots. The
Oh, beat
streets
it
and
to
what they
it.
used to be.
Okay.
Look, the show is so good at being doing the whole noir detective thing. Is that I had to, when he got that invitation to the party, I had to zoom in to check the year because
Hmm.
I was like, this show feels very feels very
Yeah,
ancient. And then yeah, like one thing I would say is that for someone like me who appreciates when people just do shit, people just try shit, is that like the editing, camera work, and direction of this show forces you to pay attention. It
Hell
forces you
yeah.
to be like, oh my days, this is so. It's such a. Sorry to borrow Bankole's favorite phrase, but it's such a fun ride from minute one to the end that you can't. If you look away for five
It's
seconds, the camera
insane.
has done something different. A
yes,
character has moved. Someone has been like positioned differently. And like, oh, let me go look at what I missed. It's just yeah, and that's before even getting into the character Colin Farrell, the
yeah,
mystery he's about to solve. And when Banky mentioned that it was directed by the guy who directed City of God, that's why I had that reaction because I was like,
yeah.
I was going to praise whoever directed this shit and who edited it. But yeah, it's
Okay,
yeah,
let's start with the filmmaking. I'll skip something on my notes. Let's start with the filmmaking because I just love when the director is having fun because like he just starts throwing out shit and you're like, okay, you're like just having like from
can I say something?
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
There was a point in the show where I like googled aspect ratios to see which one was on the screen, and by the time I zoomed into the one that was on the screen and looked back up,
Yeah,
it was a
changed.
different one.
Genius. No.
God.
I
Um,
think there's also the dialogue camera and the way it like follows their faces and shifts
yeah.
back to like the faces while they talk. It's so good.
So
They
cinematography,
have the
camera work, editing, all
yeah,
incredible. Because like I think the first time he hit me was, I mean, obviously there's the intro sequence in black and white and everything, and then he switches
yeah.
to color when he's walking. But it's when they're cutting between his conversation with Kirby and the conversation with James Cromwell's character, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Well, we're
Yeah.
just like it's winning time, but on less crack.
Yeah.
It's
The
like
Yes.
editing is the edit is actually insane. It's so well put
yeah, I was
together.
like there's like, and it was like, oh, we're not just doing it once, we're gonna do it through, and it just it keeps it vibrant because like
Also, don't forget the shots with that Corvette.
when he switches to the black and white like retro, or
No,
like when he's driving out, or
just
just every
every
shot
time he
with the
drives,
Corvette.
every shot with the car is so good,
He
man.
like so I'm not like I can't, as much as I love him and everything. I haven't gone back to watch like the Noah the mysteries of the 40s and 50s and stuff like that. So I don't understand half of these references, right? But like
Hmm.
they still work. 'Cause I'm like, oh, okay, I get what this guy almost basically knows what he's doing for the job by watching these things on film and everything. But like it still feels like you said when he's driving that Corvette, it feels how cool it would have felt in the 40s.
Yeah,
How Humphrey
yeah.
Bogart would have, but like it feels like it's 2023 in the show, but like it feels that cool, and it feels like he's still a man who's like drowning under the weight of his past, whatever that past might be.
Hmm.
Um, no, so where the filmmaker, I mean, just like when they zoom in on things like on like the email and they do like the circular zoom and like that's obviously something from back then. These are obviously guys that like love this genre and are just trying to like now interpret it for us that didn't watch all the like all the Humphrey Bogart and whatever films and everything. So like yeah, I know I was like okay, you guys are here to do this, so I'm fully on board. Um
Sorry, another thing is I think there's a lot of philosophy work here at play
Okay.
because I mean, if you look at like there are a lot of things about Sugar's character, just from the tailoring to his interest in just architecture and where he lives and the
Mm.
cars he drives and everything. He's very much with like quote unquote classic. You know what I mean? Like he very
Mm-hmm,
much
mm-hmm,
wants to live and dress and drive like the people in the movies he's obsessed with.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And obviously, like that's not a realistic character to like put on screen in 2024, especially like if it's set in these times, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they make him like a movie buff, and they build his character around the fact that he likes these things to make it make sense for like why he dresses the way he does
It's a
now.
choice.
It's a choice,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like how because I've always thought about it like, yeah, it could definitely be like a person that is into like certain things and like is obsessed with certain things, but like and once you choose to live your life a certain way, but how does that like then work in real life with like your friends, your family, people
Yeah.
visiting? The girlfriend moves in and she's like, why do you have 100 vinyls here, and why is your couch from this decade? And you get, and it kind of shows you that like it can actually work. You just have to be very,
Was it? I was listening to an episode of Some Marriage. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, they
yeah,
said, I think this cracked a joke or something, and the dad was like, "This is not your podcast. Like, you can't. You're not like that in real life. Like, just like keep it, keep
yeah,
that for the." It's like
yeah. I
she's
think
like,
that was coach. Yeah,
she's like, so
yeah,
your girlfriend is like, you can't. No, we can't have this many vinyls and this kind of couches in real life. Like, keep that
yeah.
for your like online personality.
Your
Like, this is like,
Exactly,
yes.
exactly,
Um.
exactly.
No. Yeah. So like, let's talk about John Sugar. Let's talk about John Sugar. I think we should start by talking about
Wait,
Colin Farrell.
before
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
before we talk about John Sugar,
Yeah.
one more element of praise for this show. I know it's
Mm-hmm.
only 2 episodes in. We've talked about how like it's a great homage to the noir detective movies of the past, which neither of us have seen, but you can just
Yeah.
tell. But it's also like it also so far has the best parts of any detective film you ever seen. Take a bit of Seven, a bit of True Detective, a bit of
Mm-hmm.
Memento, and it's
Mm.
like, oh my god, I
Mm,
recognize all these things, and
Yeah.
they've put it
mm,
together so well, and it's
Yeah.
working, man. Like I did not expect to love this show as much as I do right
mm.
now.
Yeah, I supposed to be more dubious. At least 2 episodes in, I thought I would like if Colin Farrell just does a masterclass, I'll be on board. But I didn't think I'll be like, yeah. And let's talk about Colin Farrell because I think this is just like this is a movie star coming in and be like, I'm calling the shots. I'm doing it. You guys can follow me if you want, or if not, drop out. But like this is my thing, and I'm just doing it. Like from the moment he's on screen, just like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna, yeah, sure, I'll buy
Yeah,
whatever you're selling.
I get,
Like,
I get it. I get why they hired it.
yeah, he looks like I'm not really someone that like I don't really try to like focus on accents because accents are hard. And unless it's
Hmm.
distracting, I just allow it. But like he sounds like he should be in the 40s in
But I'm
America
sorry though, his
solving
accent was
crimes.
fighting for his life. Like you can see the little Irish wanting to come out. Try,
Yes,
but
so
to be fair, in some way, right? The 40s in America, I'm sure there was a lot of Irish influence in how those
fair,
guys spoke. So I'm just going to
fair,
allow it because based
fair.
on that. But you can see
I
a
mean,
little bit
also like
squeezing
a
out.
lot of the mainstream American accents were built from the East Coast
I see.
in the 18th and 20th, in the 19th and 20th century. So that's like the 1800s and the
Hmm.
1900s and whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
And a lot of those guys were Irish. Like
yeah,
a lot of Irish. Sometimes I watch Irish movies or TV shows and they sound very American, and it's
fair.
because a lot of the American accent comes from the Irish accent
Hmm.
I
of
see.
English.
That
So
makes sense.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. Same with Jamaican. Just I know I've talked about this on a different pod, but like Jamaicans sound the way they do because the indentured Irish, the indentured servants taught the African slaves English, so they speak with an almost Irish accent. So if you try and
Oh,
do
really?
an Irish accent,
I'm
yeah,
I'm trying to play it in my head now. I can hear it. I can hear like the
yeah.
the Irish Jamaican, like I can hear the
How you that?
closeness.
How you doing, man?
Don't
It's
do
just
this. No,
very
don't do
Yeah.
this.
Oh
Don't do
my
this, TNT.
days.
TNT, don't
Oh
do this.
god
Don't
damn.
don't do it.
No, but it was
No,
a good demonstration.
Yeah. No, but I think Colin Farrell, like in every scene, in every frame, you're like, oh, like I said this a lot on podcast about how just a movie
Sorry,
star is different.
I
But
don't want to distract you, but
yeah,
If you ask Colin Farrell to say why I'm on the cocky, it will sound exactly like Billy Man, and that's just a fact. But yeah, go on to what you were saying.
What
because
did you just
what's that
say
way?
on this podcast? What did you just say in my ears, TMT? No, like, what did you just say in my
I was
ears?
Oh my god,
I was
man.
making a case for
And
how
that was the phrase. That was the phrase. That was the only phrase you could use. That was the only phrase you could use.
accent work. Why
Um,
upon the cocky? Sorry, I
oh
want
my,
to
Oh, yeah, he
hear
said it
don't say
again.
it again.
it.
No, okay, but yeah, like, I've gushed about movie stars before. And there's just like there's some things that are just like intangible. Like you just like a different actor might be struggling to keep up pace with Amy Ryan or James Cromwell, but like in every scene, like you're like, yeah, John Sugar is the guy in this scene. He knows the most out of everybody in this scene. Um, John Sugar himself. So I once read a review years ago about a TV show, and they said if you want us to believe that your character is exceptionally good at what he does, then you have to show him being exceptionally good as early as possible. Right. The example
Mm,
they gave was like Mad Men, Don Draper with the Lucky Strike thing in episode one.
yeah,
Like you see him be better than everybody else. And then here very early you're like, oh, this guy is good.
yeah,
It's not just because everybody else is saying he's good. Like you see him work the case in the house and find you can see him like Timothy said, he's physically able to like subdue this man and find the kid and everything. And so like even the way he gets into the flat with the I think he dropped money. So I just like, okay, so this guy's good at what he does and everything.
yeah, yeah.
Let's start with the kindness. Let's start with the you mentioned that he's kind.
Kindness is cool.
But yeah. So I try not to make Ebuka knows I try to make notes in my on my first watch usually, but I wrote this the first time I was watching the show and I was like, and it was when he was talking to Carl, like when he was giving Carl the money and saying, "Go talk to your sister in Milwaukee or whatever," and I was like, "This show is emotionally manipulative."
That's where they played the song, by the way.
But I'm not complaining, really. Okay, well then it must have worked. It must have killed you in that scene. But I was like,
Yeah.
this show is emotionally manipulative, but I'm not complaining.
Why was
Like
he
I was
so
like,
nice though?
yeah,
You
that's
know, it took me so long to accept that this was a genuine thing and not part of his like detectiving.
but that's because he's actually like you're right. He's actually nice. Like it's if Shining is episode two, when we see what happens in episode two, like it's actually getting to him. It's
Well,
not an act.
I understand his niceness because it's a function of how do I put this? It's a function of proficiency, right? When you're so good at a certain thing and you have more than enough, it's easier to be kind. Especially,
Hmm.
if you're
Are you
like
sure about
so
that? Do I agree
100%.
with that?
Like it's one of those things that you learn from anime early on
Okay,
that
it might be
only
easier, but it's not always natural.
I think it's easier. I think only strong or I mean everyone should be kind, everyone can be kind. But I
Yeah.
think it's easier to be kind when you have more resources, when you have more and the thing is, John again, he's a person who is like as a detective, you're not just thinking about the past or the future, you're extremely in the moment. You're
Mm-hmm.
noticing everything in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps you be kind. He's asking this guy when he parked that car next to, I won't lie to you, when he parked that beautiful, beautiful Corvette next to that homeless guy, I was just like, oh, this might not be the best idea. And then he gets the homeless guy to watch the car for him, and I'm like, that's a good idea actually. Still in a shady area though,
Uh-huh.
but we'll see how this turns out.
Mm-hmm.
At least you'll be able to get out of the bar quickly. And then he turns it into this transformative moment, and it's really cute.
But
It's
also,
really, really
it
cute.
proves that he's the opposite of what you mentioned earlier.
What
Like,
do you mean?
he's not the cynical detective who thinks the world, like, he knows that the world is a shithole, but he's also looking to improve it every place he can.
Yeah, but again, like I didn't think he was a cynical detective. I just
No, no, I
I
mean, no, you said as in detectives in general in this kind of genre. Why you didn't like the genre? Like, they're all like
Yeah, yeah,
kind of,
exactly,
they hate the
exactly.
world. Yeah.
He's definitely not like that. He's
Yeah.
definitely not like that.
Like,
And
he was going to give the guy in Tokyo like 2 hours head start to get away. Like, he was just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that was the first point where he showed his niceness, where he
yeah.
was like, "I'll allow you get away."
mm-hmm.
Anyway, Carl dies.
All that.
Womp
Oh,
womp.
that was a
And then,
very weird death scene, by the way. Like they proper showed his face and him very non-responsive, and I
Blunt.
was like,
Yeah.
"Damn, guys, can we get a cutaway or something?"
And I think his eyes were open, weren't they?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. His eyes were open, everything.
So at this point, this is towards the episode 2. At this point, I'm like, okay, this John Sugar is the best of us. They want to write him as like you said, a kind guy, a very good guy. And then they gave him a dog. They gave this motherfucker a dog. And I was like, you fucking writers.
And now
Even me.
he's not just John Sugar, he's America's John Sugar. He's TikTok's John
Yes.
Sugar.
Yes. Even me that detests animals, I'm like, you can't the entire John Wick franchise is based on a dog. Like 4 movies, 1 spin-off, a TV show. Like it's all based on they get this guy a dog, and I was like, oh, it's a wrap. Like it's
What's that dog
actually
called again? Wiley?
yeah, Wiley.
Yeah, like Wiley Coyote. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I was like, okay, fair. I literally have in my notes in all caps. They gave him a dog. Like it's just
They
like
gave him a dog.
I was like, that's just insane for you. Writers, well done. Okay. Do you guys remember in the bar in Tokyo
Yeah.
when he gets the
Yeah.
email from John Sigo and he looks like the Japanese man and he shares a look and then he like looks away?
Mm.
I don't have any thoughts. Just a question: is there anything is that like a romantic thing? Are we? It just never comes back up, so I don't know.
I think
I
it might
don't.
come back into play.
The
Fair.
guy
Okay.
or
No,
Sugar's?
I think his sexuality. Because if I'm reading that correctly as like romantic thing, then obviously Amy Ryan mentions that the guy that she was with the night before might also be gay. So that'll be 2 in 2 episodes. So it feels like, and then we see that shot of him looking at the black couple,
I see.
and he's looking at, which leads to my next point. Actually, he's looking at them not really in a. It's not wistful. It's not. He's almost looking at like he's studying them.
Yeah.
Which leads me to the crazy corner for this episode. Ever since I saw the synopsis of this TV show, the thing that's breaking my brain is that it's described as a genre bending, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So that's just in my head, and I don't know if there's something
We're missing.
that is going to happen. I don't know what it is. I don't.
There's already a little bit of sci-fi. I mean, he said he can't get drunk.
As in, I don't think this is a straightforward like mystery drama. If you get what I mean, I feel like
I thought he was just doing banter when he said that.
I thought so at the start too, but he kept.
No, I think he meant it. He meant it because he drove, and that was why I was like, John Sugar is not the person that would drive if he is actually drunk.
If he was drunk,
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
True.
Once he drove, I was like, he means it.
Okay, so that's some sci-fi. I mean, there's also. I mean, what I was really thinking was closer to. You said there's some memento in this show in terms of just mystery.
By the way, that comment.
Together.
Apologies to everyone who's going to listen to this and who is actually a real film bro, because I know the response is going to be guy who has only seen Memento. This is giving me a lot of Memento vibes. So yes, I put my hands up. I've only seen Memento. Sorry, TMT, go ahead.
Yeah. I've seen Memento. I've also seen Dick Tracy, but that's a parody of the genre, so I don't think that counts. Yeah. I think there's some psychological thriller shit going on. Like his perception of reality isn't always what it is. We'll probably figure out why later on. His handler thinks he needs a break. We'll probably figure out why later on. There are a lot of mysteries in the show actually. But
his
yeah,
handler Ruby seems a bit shady. She's talking behind his back.
To who?
We don't know who, because she was on the phone call and saying that he thinks somebody's following him.
Oh yeah. Oh
End of episode 2.
Yeah, but I don't really think there's sci-fi in this. I feel like that would be too much.
I don't think
too many ingredients in the soup.
They said it's a genre bending. Whenever they say genre bending, they mean they're literally bending different genres.
Maybe
I don't think
it's stretch what you expect.
I don't know if it's sci-fi. I'm just saying I think there is something there. Like for example, on my second watch, my brain. This is how my brain works. Just for everybody knows, my brain goes to the extreme right,
like the far
Twitter,
right, like how.
You know? I love how we all had the exact same joke set up and all just said our own different punchlines in the same 10-second span. So my brain goes to the extreme right, and then I start throwing theories there, and then I start coming back in to which is how on this podcast I said maybe Shiv and Greg had sex. I say things. I say things that are not
You
necessarily
did say
true.
that. Yeah, that is true. Why
It
Before I
is
did
remember
you
that
true.
they were
say that?
cousins. Before I remember that they were
Yeah.
cousins. But anyway, no, because a lot of me was like, oh, is he studying? Not even sci-fi. Just is he studying humanity? Like, is he literally watching this movie so he can know how to do this job? Because I thought it was interesting how they were intercutting him doing his detective work with scenes of detectives doing their work from films.
Mm,
Like, it's either interviewing somebody and you see a shot of a famous from a famous movie of a detective interviewing somebody, or he's
mm,
driving, and so it's almost like he's learning how to do this thing from watching all these films. But also, it felt like
Hmm.
many times it felt like he was learning how to be a human by watching other people be human, which is
that
I don't
makes
know.
sense.
I think I'm over. I definitely think I'm over reading it,
I'll
but
keep
I'm
an
very
eye out
intrigued
for
because
that.
I don't know what
Well,
actually the
I,
answer
I
is.
was I was thinking because he's a film buff, that's just like putting his interests and showing
It's
like
it's possible, yeah. That would be the straightforward answer,
how it
yeah.
comes out in his work and everything. But it could be the other thing.
But
But
there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of secrecy, though. A lot of secrecy. Like even with this whole group that they're meant to have the meeting or
Dinner.
the
The
dinner, yeah.
party.
Yeah.
And then the way he lost time, like you can just be like, oh, he lost time and he bandaged himself up, but also the way it's
Yeah.
shot makes it feel a bit more. That's where like the psychological stroke sci-fi thing comes in, because the way they shot that thing in the bathroom and everything, it's shot it in a way like it's almost like an Alex Garland ex machina shot. You're like, oh, what just happened here?
Yeah.
Um, Eric Lang or Eric Lange, whichever one is correct, comes off the top rope at the end of the second episode.
Mm.
He is the mobster. He is a very interesting character actor who is always good. But like most people might know him as Sikowitz from Victorious, which is an incredible thing to say because in the
Wait,
last few
he was in the Nickelodeon show
he
Victorious.
was on the Nickelodeon show Victorious.
That's interesting.
His
Who is the?
IMDb is insane.
In
But
fairness, I
yeah,
think people forget that Brian Cranston was in Power Rangers. So humble
He was
beginnings.
in what?
Power Rangers, but like Mighty Morphin wasn't like was he the
Yeah,
voice? Was he
he was.
Zordon?
No, he
No,
wasn't
no, that was
Zod.
in the movie. It was in the movie. He was Zordon. He was
Wow.
something, cha.
He was someone in like the
Yeah, but
90s
that's
time.
different. That's different. That was like starting off. Like I'm saying, Eric Lang was like a working actor, and then also had a recurring role on
Oh,
Victorious as the
I have
teacher.
another
Fair
one. What
enough.
about Dean from Community won an Oscar?
That's true. That's true. But for writing,
Yeah, but still,
yeah.
and he
Anyway,
still just he won it and kept doing Community like nothing.
but yeah, Eric Lang. Last few years he's been on Escape at Dannemora, the Ben
Mhm.
Stiller, Patricia Arquette, Benicio del Toro show with Paul Dano. He's been on Perry Mason, like I mentioned, and then here it looks like he's an absolutely terrifying villain. Like when the moment he says, "If you lie to me, I'll punch you in the face,"
Yep.
Yeah, that was
I
crazy.
was like, "Oh, okay,
And then it
that's
was,
what we're
and
doing."
The punch
then
in
he
the
was
face
like,
is fucking
she
terrifying.
knows. She knows,
The way-
guys.
yeah, like she knows. Like the way he just said, "I'll punch you in the face," I was like, "Oh," and just his line delivery here. So yeah, I'm excited to see because, like we said, like there's another mystery going on. Actually, now there are like
Mm,
two or three more mysteries because we're doing with Olivia, which is the main thing, but also like
mm,
Olivia's mom, what happened to her, and then also like this guy that was in Olivia's trunk and the woman that he raped and murdered. It's like so now we're just so many different mysteries. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I want to see how much more the show will manipulate my feelings. Um,
fair enough.
what do you guys think? Any final thoughts on the first two episodes?
They've
Um,
cooked,
I
man. I'm extremely
They've
yeah.
cooked.
excited. I
They've
can't I
cooked.
can't say anything more than that. It just I'm very positively surprised and excited to keep going.
I think I think Colin Farrell comes from a long line of actors who, again, I'm not sure if we've spoken about this before, Banky, but the Brad Pitt curse.
What character actor in a leading man body?
Exactly.
Yeah, I've heard
So
of that. Yeah,
you have Colin Farrell, you have Daniel Day Lewis, you have
Daniel Lewis in a leading man body.
hell yeah. Have you seen That Would Be
What
Blood?
about Benicio del Toro? Does he count? Or is
Sometimes,
he strictly one of them?
sometimes
I feel like he's too. Is he? I don't know. I feel like
he's
he's.
both. He's both because he can do leading man. He's been like a romantic leading man in a bunch of films. Javier Bardem as well.
Okay, I can see that.
Um,
Yeah. You know
yeah,
who actually right now? Ryan
so
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My
yeah.
guy for a while was Zac Efron. I always thought Zac Efron was a character actor in a dead man's body. Like I don't
I've
think Zac
never
Efron.
gotten that bad.
I I mean, go watch Iron Claw.
No way, no way, bro. I've
Oh,
seen
just
Iron Claw.
I need to watch
because of the
Iron Claw.
story.
And to that, I say no way, bro.
Is it because of the story?
No, not even that. Like he doesn't give. He's not doing anything especially interesting. He just plays trepidatious and like a little slow, and that's fine.
Watch Iron Claw. Watch
I
Iron
have
Claw.
seen Iron Claw. That's what I'm saying, telling you. I've seen
Oh, and
it.
you don't think that's his career best performance?
I think his career best performance is me and Orson Welles, and I'm not even trying to be
Who played Orson
funny.
Welles in that? Who played Orson Welles in that?
This actor who is, I think, British or no, he's American. He's I've forgotten his name. I think it's my. Let me see. Me.
I've heard about that.
Um,
I've never actually seen it.
you've
So
never
you
seen me
just
and Orson Welles.
so you're on the Zac Efron hate train. That's fine. That's
Oh yeah, it
cool.
was Christine McKay.
Okay. So you're on the Zac Efron
Yeah.
hate train. That's
No, I think
interesting.
I think he's a really good actor. Actually,
Wait, me and
That's
Orson
what I
Welles.
just
What
said.
kind of movies me and Orson Welles are big?
it's like a historical fan fiction.
Okay, historic. It sounds like it. Was it a good film?
It was kind of decent.
Yeah, I
It
think it was
wasn't
well
great.
received.
Yeah, it was well
Yeah.
received. Yeah.
Interesting. So he did this like 1 year after High School Musical 3.
It was his like debut as a serious actor.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, also, what's his name? What's that for Elephant guy? The Batman, Robert
Robert
Pattinson.
Robert
What's
Pattinson.
his name?
Pattinson.
Yeah.
Water for Elephants guy, not the Batman, not Twilight,
Not
not
Twilight.
Good
Like,
Day.
it's like-
In fairness, he's a vampire in Twilight, so it's just the Batman all over
yeah,
again.
yeah. It's the
So,
evolution of
yeah.
man. No, Colin Farrell is good, and like he's obviously in the middle of a renaissance. Seems like too harsh a word and overused, but it's of a career bump. Obviously,
I
his first was
think
Condemnation with Banshees of Inisherin,
true.
the Batman, Penguin, the Penguin show coming out.
Mm,
This, you feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
at this
yeah.
point
He's
he
got
can
one more
probably.
interesting project that I can't remember right now.
Yeah, I think we discussed it on our upcoming pod.
Yeah,
Total Recall too.
really?
Maybe. No, don't listen to
No,
this guy.
no. Have you guys seen Total Recall
Um,
with Colin Farrell?
I mean, I probably did when like it came out, but like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a very
not
forgettable film. He
yeah.
didn't had
What
a sex
movie?
tape in 2006.
I
I mean,
mean,
I heard about
we're not
that.
going to go through his personal life because there were a lot. He's come out the other end of it, thank God.
Ah,
Um,
he's really grown up. He did a lot of interesting stuff.
yeah, well, like I think he
Is
mentioned
it
like
is it is it The Spaceman? Is it 13 Lives? Is it After Yang? What are you guys thinking about? Like Colin Farrell
So
wise?
he's starring alongside Margot Robbie in Kogonada's new film, his next film, A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. Kogonada
Okay.
is the guy who wrote and directed After Yang. I don't know if he wrote, but he directed After
oh,
Yang.
Mm.
So
with Margot Robbie,
yeah,
that woman picks good projects. She's smart.
Yeah,
She's smart.
her
She's a
team
smart
I'll
has a
producer.
tell her you
game.
said that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I know you have a
Yeah,
direct line to her.
holy
Um,
shit. Isn't After Yang guy the guy doing Acolyte as well?
The Acolyte.
Yeah, the Star
I thought the
Wars.
acolyte was a woman. I thought it was a woman that was leading that.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
But
Guys, I
maybe he
can't
why are you
lie.
taking
was.
jobs from women?
That was directing a few episodes or something, but
Maybe.
maybe that was what happening.
I just said she was leading. Okay. Any final thoughts on Sugar?
God bless America.
No.
He needs to start smoking. That's my final thoughts. He needs a cigar.
Yeah, Leslie
Yeah,
Headland is the main director of what they call it, of acolyte. I don't think. Oh, you're right, but you guys are right though. Kogonada is directing acolyte as well. One episode, two
okay.
episodes.
2 episodes, huh? Yeah.
Fun.
I don't know. I think he might not smoke. I don't think he's like it's him.
Also, it's 2024, so fair enough. Maybe he'll
Yeah,
vape.
vape. Oh no. Oh, I hate that we're all having the same joke. Anyway, okay. Final thoughts. That's it. Needs to vape. Um, I'm sure to see what Ruby's betrayal is. I'm sure she's going to betray in some way. Um,
Racist.
maybe. But yeah, I mean, the thing for me usually in kind of shows that I usually end up not caring about the mystery because you get so involved with the characters.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes with this. But yeah, like you guys, echo you guys' thoughts. 2 episodes in, I'm fully on board. Can't wait to talk about
I
episodes
need
3 and 4 in
season 2
2 weeks.
right now.
I feel like
Why
it's
do you
a
need season two
one.
TMT? We have 8 episodes
Right
to watch. Why do
fucking
I
you need
also
it
feel
right
like
now?
now.
I feel like it's a one season kind of show.
I
I feel like
need
it's a
Oh.
season 2 right now. If you have
No,
sci-fi
no.
element, it's going to
Banky,
have like a
I
nice
am
season.
the king of like things getting finished and ended. But I'm sorry, I'll also say I want them to
Yeah.
make maybe 2 or 3 more
let's calm
seasons.
down because we've only seen 2 episodes, and that's why we'll come back next time. Like this stuff is a hot piece of shit. It started off so high. Let's like, can we start? Can we calm
Fair
down?
enough. Fair enough.
What show in recent history can you think of that started incredibly and just turned into garbage?
True Detective, not garbage, but it wasn't as good as it started. True Detective, Night
What,
Country.
the Alaska one?
Yeah, like it started off on a high, on like a 9, and probably finished at like a 6.
Oh,
Fair enough.
okay. Okay.
I'm sure there are others. I just
Hmm.
can't think of them right now.
Hmm. Nah, no problem now.
Okay, so guys, we'll be back in 2 weeks talking about more Colin Farrell. Maybe by then, TMT would have perfected his private detective impersonation.
We should all come with hats.
Can you come as Nicolas Cage from Spider Verse next episode?
Well, me?
Yeah, just do that performance.
I could whip something up for you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
no lie.
Not right now. Just
Oh,
go practice. In 2 weeks
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. I need to think
Thank you.
about it. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
okay. I got you. Might be
Okay.
paying extra for that.
Not really.
Okay.
Well, I'll just double what you're being paid now.
I'll still do it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Ebuka,
Yes.
just come. That's all I need from you.
Oh yeah, just show up.
Just show up.
Yeah, that's not what it said. It said
Apologies.
just come.
Yeah. Just come. I said it and I was like, why did I say it like that?
I'll show up. You come.
Oh god, my ears
you
today.
come
This
you
holy Easter Monday. First serious. Okay.
please call me if I show up. Yeah, okay. Guys, thank you very much for listening. I think this is the end of a 2 recording day for me, so my brain is a bit beginning to go into mush. But TMT Ebuka, thank you very much for agreeing to do this, and I'm glad that we all enjoyed the show so far. And we'll be back talking about more of Sugar with
All right.
Colin Farrell.
You
And
tell me what
we're
to
back in 2 weeks' time. Please remember that our coverage is every fortnight. And we're back in 2 weeks' time. But in the meantime, we're covering Ripley, we're covering Sympathizer. Three Body Problem is out on the feed. Invincible is out on the feed. So thank you very much for listening. And join us next week, and I'll be joined by Oscar winner, BAFTA winner, first time director, Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya!
Bye, guys.